Hello, and thanks for joining us today. I'm super excited you could be here. Today, we're talking about really the most important topic of 2025 because it really has to do with AI. And if you are not figuring this out by now, you're going to fall so far behind that you probably will never be able to catch up to your competitors. But the great news is, if you're getting ahead of this, then you can actually leap ahead of your competitors and do some really cool things with limited resources that other people in your industry are just not able to do. So today, what we are going to do is talk about AI prompting mastery. I mean, we're going to talk about unlocking the efficiency and growth for you as an entrepreneur through AI. And with us today to have this discussion is Jonathan Mast. Now, since 1995, Jonathan is at the forefront of digital innovation, blending marketing expertise with cutting edge technology. So over the last 2 years, he's become a leading authority in AI prompting, helping entrepreneurs and businesses increase profits, save time, and deliver exceptional value through actionable AI strategies. So his unique ability to simplify complex AI concepts has made him a trusted resource for businesses seeking to integrate AI into their operations. Now, with a dedicated community of over 400,000 AI enthusiasts and entrepreneurs, comprising 330,000 plus members in a private Facebook group and 80,000 email subscribers, Jonathan's influence is widespread. So he is known for his approachable style. He provides practical tools and strategies that drive immediate results, making him an influent voice in the AI space. Now, Jonathan's experience extends in over 100 podcast appearances and thousands of trade students, showcasing his ability to connect with diverse audiences, whether through training, speaking, or consulting. He continues to empower businesses and individuals to harness the transformative power of AI for sustainable and substantial growth. And again, he has his own podcast too. So, Jonathan, thanks for joining us today.
Well, I'm so excited to be here, Ty. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So how did you, I mean, you've been in the forefront of digital for a while. So what made you jump into AI and go all in to be able to figure out the type of prompting mastery that you've accomplished?
My ADD, really more than anything else. Yeah, I spent most of my career in sales and marketing. Spent a lot of that running at a digital marketing agency. Had an amazing business, and when AI came out, I mean, we've been using AI for a long time. I shouldn't say that. I remember literally in my sales career, 25 plus years ago, flying to LA and getting the Hertz rent-a-car, and we had the little GPS screen, and I always had to rent the one with the GPS because I didn't know my way around LA. So that was AI. We've been using AI in one form or another for a very, very long time. But when ChatGPT put an interface on front of it and let us start asking it questions in the end of 2022, that really just changed everybody's paradigm. It was like, whoa, look at this. We can do all this really cool stuff. And seriously, I am that ADD visionary entrepreneur. I'm the guy. I was just speaking at an event a couple weeks ago, and they talked about the difference between the founder and the CEO. I'm the founder mentality. That's who I am. It's what I do. I'm really bad at pretty much everything else. And so when AI came out, what it really allowed me to do was to get so much more work done because I could both fail faster and succeed faster. And as a result, I'm a fairly passionate guy. I'm like, I want to teach everybody I know about this incredible tool. And as it was coming out, you're seeing people basically on two sides. You're seeing the hucksters on the one side leaning next to the Lamborghinis and the Learjets they don't know and telling you how you're going to use AI to make millions of dollars tomorrow. Bull, you're not. And you've got the other side of people going, it's evil, and we can't, we don't want to touch it. And I'm like, guys, let's be pragmatic here. This is an amazing tool. And when used properly, it can so incredibly amplify the skill and the experience of the user that it just still to this day, I've been doing this now for over 2 years, still blows my mind the things that it allows us to do, the amount of time that we can save, and the value, candidly, Ty, that we can add to our audience. And as a business owner, what's better than that? The ability to save time and add more value to our clients at the same time.
I love it, and I see two camps developing with AI. I see, that are using it. Let me put it that way. One camp is just figuring it out. They're in there just typing in things and getting a result and thinking they're crushing it. And then the other one is learning prompting. They're really learning these advanced
Yeah.
techniques. What's the difference between these two camps? Like, because the people that aren't really learning advanced prompting techniques, they think they're doing a pretty good job. but how far is the bar raised from people that are your students that are really learning the advanced mastery of this prompting?
Well, I'd love to tell you it's an incredibly difficult process, but the reality is most people don't take the time to learn how to communicate. And while AI is not sentient, I don't care what type of relationship we have, whether it's a work relationship, a personal relationship, anything else, it relies on communication. And how we communicate with the AI makes a huge difference. And again, it's not sentient, it's not some being that can do anything, but it is a language model and it's based upon natural language processing. So the words we use and how we ask it to do things absolutely makes a difference in the quality of the results we get. We've all heard the phrase garbage in, garbage out. And that holds true probably more than anywhere else when it comes to AI. And so what we teach people how to do very simply is instead of falling for, oh, let me buy a list of 487 prompts for my industry, or I saw one literally yesterday, 10,003 prompts that I could buy a list. It's like, you've got to be kidding. You know how long it would take me to look through even a list of 100? Instead, let us teach you a prompt framework that's 4 steps that you can use for virtually any question that you have or any need that you have and get a great response back from ChatGPT, from Claude, from Gemini, whatever model it is that you want to use. And that's the other thing is everybody's like, well, do I need to prompt differently because I'm using a different tool? No, let's teach you how you can use a model that works anywhere and gets incredible responses.
So I want to talk about the four, but before we do, you mentioned several different types of AI. What are you liking the most right now? Or do you find that what you use depends on the purpose you're trying to use it for?
You know, I subscribe to pretty much all of them. People are always like, Jonathan, what are the AIs that you subscribe to? Pretty much all of them, because part of my job is to analyze them and to use them and to test them. The average user probably just needs access to one tool. And I'm really agnostic as far as which is best because it's probably the one that you have in your toolbox. In other words, may one be a little bit better than the other? Sure, it could be for different cases, and everybody has their passions. It's kind of like Ty, if we were talking about cars, you may drive a different brand of car than I drive, and I'm sure I'm adamant about why I drive the brand I drive, and you vice versa. But if we go to dinner on Friday night, guess what? We're both going to show up and get there. It doesn't really matter what brand of car we have. And AI is kind of at that point. They're all going to get us where we need to go. Some may do it a little bit better and a little bit faster, but they're all going to get us there. So if you have access to ChatGPT or to Google Gemini or to Claude or to Llama or Grok or any of these that are popular, any of the popular models, whatever you have access to will serve you just fine until you've gotten really comfortable and mastered it. One of the biggest mistakes I see people making, Ty, is they go, "Oh, I need the perfect tool." No, you just need an AI tool. You don't need the perfect AI tool because they're all going to get you inside the your target, and that's where we need to start.
So DeepSeek, that just
Mhm.
hit the news and that's really blown up. And people are just seem to be blown away with it. So is DeepSeek that much better than anything that we've seen so far?
Great question. No, in my experience, DeepSeek's not any better than the current models that are out there. What really seems to have got everybody's attention was two things. One, DeepSeek's free. And of course, everybody loves free. So you can use it for free. You don't have to pay for any subscription. You can just go out and use it. And that's made it incredibly popular. It is a very good model. It works very well. Their big claim to fame, so to speak, is that they were able to leverage other AI tools and techniques to build DeepSeek for about 1/10 the cost that it cost, like say OpenAI to build ChatGPT, and they were able to do it very, very fast. So it's a good model. If we stay out of the political discussion about the fact that it's based in China, and that definitely triggers some people, and I'm not here to weigh in on that. I don't really care where your perspective is. It's a good model. It gives good results, but it is not the best model. But again, it's probably the best free model that's out there, if that makes sense.
You'd mentioned, I think, four prompts or a framework consisting
Yeah.
of four things. Can you expand on that a little?
Absolutely. So let's face it, when we go to AI, we're typically asking it a question. We want it to help us achieve an objective or solve a problem. And I find if we give it 4 steps in our prompt as we're communicating with it, Ty, it's going to give us great results. The 4 steps are really simple. First, we need to tell AI what type of expert it needs to act as. Two, we need to give it context. Three, we need to ask it our question. And four, we need to ask it to ask us clarifying questions. And the reason for all this is AI has been trained on essentially every book in every library around the world and a lot more. And if you can imagine if there was such a thing as one library that held every book in the world, can you imagine how massive it would be? It'd be probably bigger than some countries. And yet, if you walked in the front door and were looking for a book on a particular topic and nobody could guide you to the sales section or the marketing section or the fantasy section, you'd never find anything because it'd be too big. Now, AI is fast and it will find things, but if we can tell it right away, I need you to go to this section of the library, it gets there that much faster. And it helps keep it in context. Because it knows so much information, one of the problems with AI is that sometimes it runs off the rails and gets distracted. It's almost like it has the same ADD that I do. And it's like, oh, hang on, I saw this neat rabbit. I want to talk about that. But you didn't ask me about rabbits. So by giving it direction, that helps. And that's why we tell it what type of expert it should act as. The second part is the context. If you and I are working on a project, Ty, I'm not going to walk up to your desk and go, let's say you're great at writing press releases. Ty, I need a press release, and turn around and walk away because you're going to go, hey, Jonathan, I got some questions. No, 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 Ty, you're an expert. You figure it out. But that's what we do with AI all the time. We assume it's an expert. It can read our mind. I can just give it, write me a social media post. And then it writes one, and I'm like, well, that was crap. I didn't like that. Or write, my favorite one is write me a blog post because we all know we should probably blog more and we don't want to do it. It's hard to do. And then we read it and we're going, well, not only did that stink, it wasn't right, it wasn't on topic, it was short and blah, blah, because we didn't give it any context. And so we need to give the model context related to the question that we're going to ask. And then we need to ask it our question. And then the reality is that AI is programmed well. Again, it's a bunch of zeros and ones, it's programs that it knows what variables it should have in order to do the best job. And so if we say, hey, if essentially, Ty, if I forgot to tell you something, or if you've got any questions, just ask me. Then you, as the expert in writing a press release, can go, hey, Jonathan, you didn't tell me these three things I really need to know. And so if we were using AI to write this press release, the prompt would sound like you're an expert press release writer who specializes in connecting with various audiences. I need to write a press release for a new product launch that I have coming in my business. That product is going to be X providing value Y to audience Z. Write my press release and ask me any questions you have. When we put that together as the prompt, now the AI is going to analyze it and go, okay, I'm an expert press release writer. I know what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to write a press release. Jonathan's giving me some information. Okay, he's giving me an audience. He's giving me a product. He's giving me that. He didn't happen to tell me who his company was, though. So hang on, what am I going to do about that? Well, by asking it to ask me questions, it'll then come back and go, okay, Jonathan, this is great. What company are you, by the way? Because maybe you forgot to tell me that. Or what's your contact information you want included? Or do we want to add this into the press release? So it then understands what needs to happen. It'll generally come back with 3 to 5 questions. We can answer those questions. And then the response that we get out of that, Ty, it's so much better because it's on target, it's on track. And we did that probably as opposed to sitting down, downloading a sample press release template, because I don't write press releases all the time, reading 4 or 5 of them to get a feel and in the flow, and then trying to cobble one together on myself. An hour and an hour and a half later, I've written an okay press release. Instead, I've used AI and I've probably done it in 2 to 3 minutes. And it's probably better than what most press release writers would write because it's already been trained on all that. Then we just need to proof it, edit it, tweak it, and publish.
So in that, if we ask it questions or if it does questions, it says it does. We answer those questions. Do we ask it again? Or because sometimes when we answer the questions, it prompts more questions.
Mm.
But I think that could send us into an endless loop. Or do we just do it once? What questions do you have? Answer the questions and then have it give us the answer.
Great question. So, you can tell AI you even skip the questions it asks you. It's going to fill in the blank. That's going to make assumptions. Keep in mind, we know what happens when we assume it. We then resemble that southbound end of or south end of a northbound mule. So, we want to make sure that we're not doing a lot of assumption, and it's not good when AI does that either. But to your point, don't get caught in the habit that it's a one prompt thing. I shouldn't hope to get this is not a slot machine where I'm hoping I pull the perfect lever and I get the perfect response every time. Sometimes just tie again, if you and I were collaborating on a project, we need to do what? We need to collaborate. We need to have a conversation. So when AI responds in a way and you're like, well, that's not exactly what I was thinking, tell it. Well, that's thanks, but that's not what I was thinking. I was hoping you'd do this instead, or I was looking for this. And because it's a natural language model, it's trained on natural language, you can literally talk to it much as you would anything else. You can type if you want. I'm a big fan of using my transcription service. So on a Mac or a PC, it's really easy to assign a hotkey to this little thing, this microphone. And then the beauty is I can literally prompt it by talking to it, and it automatically will transcribe my voice. And guess what? That's natural language, and it tends to respond really well to that. Not to mention, it is so much faster. Now, I want to point out, I'm not using the voice mode where it's talking back to me. I'm literally just using the transcription capabilities of my device, my phone, my computer, whatever, to communicate. You don't have to do that, but it's faster.
It's just really interesting. My sister's a teacher, a grade school teacher, and she said she's just seen this big shift of where people are asked questions now, the students, and now they try to think about where to go to get the answer instead of figuring out the answer. And it's interesting, 'cause I had two teenagers and they just yell out into the world questions, right? But they
Oh,
never
yeah.
even thought about, right? It's interesting because something come up and they'll just say Siri or whoever they're talking to, Alexa, and to get the answer. And I'm not never even thought about that before. So it just makes me think of where we'll be in 5 or 10 years, because you're literally in a world where you just literally shout out in the world what you want, and then you get any number of different responses to solve problems. It's so intriguing where we are right now.
Oh yeah, and I think we're only going to continue to see advances there. I don't, my crystal ball is cracked and cloudy, but I absolutely think 5 years down the road, we're going to be in a situation where we have devices not dissimilar from our cell phone, but it might be a pendant that you wear on your neck. It might be a pen that's in your pocket, whatever, that literally is full-time connected to the cloud, the web, the internet, and that you can at any point in time go, how do I get to, Pizza Hut from where I'm at? And it would literally with GPS, I know it would tell you, yes, you can do that in your car now, but imagine not having to do anything other than go, hey Siri, and it does that for you, or any question that comes up. My son's great for that. We'll be having a discussion. He's 17, and in the middle of he and I discussing it, he'll grab his phone and, hey Siri, what happened here? And he'll go ahead and get the information, and he's essentially using AI in the web to grab that information in real time. And I think that's definitely an area that's going to become so ubiquitous for us as users that what your sister's seeing is absolutely going to happen in my mind. It's not about knowing the answers, it's about knowing how to get the answers.
Mhm.
And candidly, as an employer, that makes sense to me. I would far rather hire someone who knows how to find the right answer than someone that just is a brainiac and has it all in their head.
Yeah, no, could completely agree. When it comes to AI, I think everybody in our tribe here is entrepreneurs. Everybody kind of familiar with the content side, right? We write a content for a
Sure.
website or an email or a blog. But what other ways are you seeing creative ways right now that entrepreneurs are using it for marketing, for advertising efforts?
I think it's really incredibly well fit for any marketing and any content. I'll give you an example. Literally, the meeting I had before this was with my web development team, and I sat down with them, and it was time to make some updates to the website. It's probably been 6 months, and things change and everything else. And one of the things we identified is we've dropped one of the services that we used to offer, and so we need to kind of change the overall tone of the website just a bit. Not a massive change, but it's one of those things, candidly, that when they went, Jonathan, we need to update this, and I'm like, oh great, one more project to do that I don't want to have to take time to do. And then my assistant reminded me that I have a custom trained GPT model that we provide to our students that basically will walk us through the whole process of our focus and our mission and our vision and all that. And I'm like, well, I got most of that. And she's like, yeah, but it's time to update that for the website. And so instead of, okay, put it on my task list, I'll get to it later, We literally took 15 minutes. I had a brief discussion with AI, and it really acted as a consultant for me, guiding me through the process. And I literally started by saying, hey, here's my website. I gave it the link. We're removing some of these services. We need to update our focus to be able to be focused on this. Help guide me through a process so that I can really get solid in my mind what this looks like and that I can help my web development team have the information they need to do this. And we had a conversation over about 10 to 15 minutes and it was done. And my web team literally got to see it. I shared the results with them and they're like, great, that's what I needed. So not necessarily marketing in the context of, okay, I wrote an emailed campaign, which it can do, or I wrote ads, which I can do, but helping me as an entrepreneur, as a business leader and an owner work through one of those questions that was really good for my project team, but was really hard for my ADD brain to get my mind around. And now again, in minutes, we had it solved as what would have typically been a year or two ago, and yeah, I'll get to it, I'll get to it, I'll get to it, I'll get to it. My assistant would remind me every few days and I'll get to it. And probably 3 months down the road, it still wouldn't be done because I would have never taken that time because I didn't know where to start on it per se. And AI can help with that. I use it all the time for brainstorming. I use it for writing emails when we all have those emails we need to write. We need to establish good boundaries. We want to do it professionally and nicely. We can't necessarily say what immediately comes to mind. Well, AI is a great way to do that because I can take that email tie that you sent me, I can give it to ChatGPT or any model. I can tell, here's how I want to respond, but make it sound nice. And it'll then do that. And again, instead of me spending 10 minutes writing that email, I spent 3 minutes writing it. And you may go, Jonathan, big deal, 7 minutes. Yeah, but when you do that 10 times a day, you just saved an hour. And now you've got an hour every day. And if you've got a team and you can empower your team to do that, even a small team, and let's say 5 or 10 people, if they all save half an hour a day on a team of 10 people, that's five man hours, woman hours, work hours, person hours, however we want to say it, of productivity and work that we've just gotten back. And we've got it for free. We can either give that back to our employees to let them think a little bit more. We can use it to give them more time to focus on the things that actually we need them. And again, keep in mind, AI amplifies skill and experience. So the more experience and the more skill you have, the more it can help you leverage that skill and experience to save time.
What do you think are practical strategies to use AI to help a business like grow and scale? Because I see people that get their idea from AI of the business to launch. Hey, how do I make $10,000 this month? And whether it's
Mhm.
all real or not, I don't know. But you see it out there. It's saying, hey, I want to make $10,000 a month. What's the best way to be able to do it? And then AI will say, okay, we'll start this kind of business and do this kind of thing. So for somebody that already has a business, like what are some things that we should be doing with AI to figure out how to basically evolve and how to be able to grow and how to be able to use it to kind of help our business scale and become more profitable?
The first thing I do is I'd literally sit down and ask it to interview me. I would say, I want you to act as a professional business consultant to help me grow and scale my business. I want you to interview me and ask me a series of questions to learn everything that you need about me so that you can understand me and my business and give me real actionable steps that I can take to grow our revenue. Ask me one question at a time, go. And it's going to probably ask you 20 or 30 questions and it will dynamically respond to what you're doing. And then when it's done, it'll say, great, I have enough information now. Here's what I recommend, or here's some thoughts or ideas that I have on how you could grow your business. So that if you haven't used it much, that's where I would start. On the other hand, if you use it a lot and you're like me, maybe you just have ideas sometimes. So it happened to me yesterday. I woke up in the morning. I have a Facebook group that you mentioned. We just passed 350,000 people. And I'm like, I want to do something fun and I want to see how we can make this work. And I do a lot of trainings. I'm like, let's do a free training. And I'm like, man, free trainings are great, but they take a lot of time. Normally my trainings are about 150 bucks. What would happen if I sold one for 10 bucks? That'd still be a huge value to my audience. I had never thought of before. Literally, this is before I've left my bedroom for the morning. So I grabbed my phone and I explained my concept to it. And I said, hey, this is my idea. We just hit 350,000 members in the group. I want to normally I would do a free training. It takes a lot of time and an effort. Instead of charging 150 bucks, how about we do this for $10 and we make it just different enough that it works? Everything made sense. I'm like, great. Now here's what I want to teach on. I grabbed a popular post that I'd had and want to teach on that. Here's what I want to do. I need a landing page to do it. Oh, darn, I need a product description so I can actually put this up and put it for sale. I need an email sequence so that we can send the emails out. Now I need a social media post that I can post and everything else. So I did all of that with AI in about an hour. And I launched that last night before I went to bed. And as of 3 minutes ago, we've had 474 people give us $10 for an offer that I thought about and put an hour into yesterday. Now, is that some massive moneymaker and going, oh my gosh? No, but there's an extra 5 grand in revenue that we were able to bring in because I had an idea that 2 years ago, Ty, would have remained an idea and nothing would have happened because of the amount of time and energy it would have taken to launch this, and it just therefore wouldn't have happened. But now, throughout the day, and it wasn't like an hour block, I literally did it between meetings. In about an hour, everything was created for this entire campaign and it was launched. And, we've got 7 days to go yet. Who knows where we'll be? So as a business owner, those are things I want to encourage you to think about using AI to do instead of just having the ideas and go, oh yeah, we should talk about that. Actually, talk to AI about it and get its advice, get its direction, and you'll find, as again, as just one example there, you can do things that maybe you'd never done before. And now I'm expanding my email list. I'm adding value. People are loving what we're doing. So we're creating goodwill. We're adding value. And at the same time, we're adding a little revenue at the same time. So I guess I'd ask this, which of us as business owners, if we knew we could invest an hour and it would probably generate a few $1,000s a day over a 7 day period for us. So let's say over 7 days, we'll probably bring in 15 grand or so. Who wouldn't among us invest an hour to do that? There's probably somebody who's your podcast that's making buku bucks and has 3 Lamborghinis and is like, hey, no problem. That's not worth it to my time. I drive a minivan and I live in a nice house, but it's not that great. If I can make 15,000 bucks in an hour, I'm all in. Let me know how to
Sure.
do that. Because maybe then the next time, even better, I can now teach somebody on my staff to do what I just did. And so the next time I have an idea, I give it to maybe one of my ops people. I have two amazing operational people, and I give it to one of them and I go, okay, now you take this idea, follow what I did with AI the last time, and now you do it. Now, maybe it takes them 2 or 3 hours to do, but it still gets done. And as the that visionary founder entrepreneur that I am, I got to have the idea. That's what I'm good at. And they were able to, in just a few hours, bring that to fruition and execute on it. As opposed to, again, a year ago or 2 years ago, it would have just never happened because of the hours and the time and the busyness that it embodies us.
What do you see as emerging trends happening with AI right now?
I think a couple of major things are coming up. One is just the speed in which it's going to be able to get us information that's accurate and relevant. I think we're going to see a lot of changes. Right now, AI does what we call hallucinates on occasion. So it basically makes stuff up, and why? Because it's been trained on, if you ever go to the bookstore and there's 6 books on a topic and they don't all agree. Well, AI has been trained on all 6 books and nobody told it which one was right. So it gets confused sometimes. The other area I think we're going to see a lot of change in is a new thing that just came out called deep research. And if you can imagine, you need to research a topic, Ty, whether it be for a speech or anything else. In the past, we might do that, take hours to go ahead and do Google searches and compile stuff and put it together. Maybe if we were fortunate, we had a team member that could do that, it would take them hours. Now I can go into ChatGPT or other tools, and in about 10 to 15 minutes, I can have the AI go do all of that research and bring back to me a 15 to 20 page report on that information. That's something that didn't exist in December. It does exist as we're recording this in March. And so those types of tools I think are going to continue on as well to just give us the ability as particularly as entrepreneurs to lean in and leverage some of those kind of arduous tasks that were there. And that fits into the third part, which is what we call agenic AI or agents. Now, instead of having one prompt and getting a response, we have the ability to go out and actually say things like, I need you to, you know, go out to my website every day and I need you to look at all the people that sent me a form or whatever. And then I need you to craft a unique email and I need you to look up their LinkedIn profile. So when it sees that Ty sent me a message on my website, it goes out to LinkedIn and it looks at your LinkedIn profile and it creates a customized message back to you about the topic that you were inquiring about or whatever it is. And it can do all of that and then even send it. It can do all of that automatically as part of a sequence. And that's getting called agentic AI. And I think we're going to see some massive advances there this year.
Great stuff today. We just scratched the surface. Where can everybody go that's listening and watching to be able to learn more and join your community?
Yeah, just remember my name. Go to jonathanmast.com. That's MAST/Linktree. So jonathanmast.com/Linktree. I've got tons of free resources, all my contact information, a few paid resources as well. And yeah, I'd be happy to help out in any way I can.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on with us today.
Thank you.
So make sure you go right now to jonathanmast.com/Linktree. And when you're there, you're able to find his Facebook group. You're able to get in on his newsletter, follow his podcast, as well as access a bunch of other video training that's available for you. So listen, we just kind of got to not even to mastery level, right? We just kind of got to the beginner levels in this conversation because we didn't have enough time to get to the really, really, really advanced techniques and tactics that Jonathan is teaching. So that's what you want. That's the stuff that really gives you even more of a competitive advantage from just the content that you'll be able to got today. So make sure that you go to jonathanmast.com/Linktree. That's Jonathan, JONATHAN, Mast, MAST.com/Linktree to be able to get in, join his community. I mean, hundreds of thousands of people are there because he gives such great content, such great information that can help you jump to the front of the line, jump ahead of anybody out there that's using AI right now without a lot of work. You just need the right training and education, and you can get it at jonathanmast.com/Linktree. So make sure you check it out now. Thanks for tuning in. Take care. Have a great day.